Good morning. Let's see. We've got thieves oil in the diffuser today because it smells good. Nobody's sick. And the truth bomb is freedom worships inquiry. Inquiry is the process of deconstructing our stories, which leads to freedom. Hi, everybody. I'm Shell, Nina, Betty, Tanya. We took delivery of a generator. Hallelujah, this morning. So now when the power goes out, as it frequently does, hi Aaron, we'll be good. I think I saw, hi Carrie, I think I saw Catherine and my mother come in too, didn't I? Hello. Yes, it's here and it's huge. It's so big the delivery truck wanted us to meet them at the road because they were scared to drive up here. It's really, really big. It's really, really big. How long can we resist saying, and that's what she said. Me too. Oh God, me too. I'm so grateful. So grateful to have one. A generator. A big generator. Because we lose power on average once a month. Good morning, Bernice. Right. It's really, really huge. You kind of have to say that's what she said after. I mean, the opening is there. You can feel it waiting to be said. It's just very hard to resist that. Oh, thank you. Thank you. My name is Michelle Wolf. You can find me at CaddyshackDesigns.com, where I appear much more professional than I actually am. Or at least attention. Just say it. At the website are tabs across the top that let you know everything I do. Young Living Essential Oils, Reiki, Desire Map Workshops, custom portrait art, whatever. Need your house cleaned? We could probably manage that. How's everybody doing this morning? I'm so glad that the scope yesterday was so helpful to so many people. That makes me feel really good. Oh, good. Do you guys know how on the replay, you know how you can press and slide and it has the time there? Is that the actual time? Because it was like 2:14, which looks like 2 hours, 14 minutes. But we can't have talked that long yesterday. Hi, Cynthia. I don't know how that works. But I did listen to it, and I do want to work with those charts a little bit more. Okay, because I'm pretty sure I didn't sit here for 2 hours. I know we talked for a long time. Really? It felt like 45 minutes. And I just replayed chunks of it, so I didn't measure out the whole thing. That was a long time. Seriously, that didn't feel like any time at all to me. So, let's jump right in today, because he's probably going to need help with that generator. Oh, good. You know, I was just thinking I could take pictures of these. They're all scribbly and stuff. But I could take pictures of them. Oh, me too. Me too, Angela. Let's just jump right in here with our first Tao Te Ching translation. Oh, I just realized I'm wearing blue. If you guys didn't catch it, Linda did a scope this morning on the throat chakra, which is all blue stuff. Druggy and affair. Those people get immediate satisfaction in their face. Yes. Yes, they do. That's true. Hi, Juliana. Okay. Today is 67. 3 treasures today. Oh, good, Roseanne. I hope it was helpful to you. Oh, good. You know, you never know when you think up ideas at 5:30 in the morning if they're any good or not. Okay, 3 treasures. Everybody says my way is great, but improbable. All greatness is improbable. What's probable is tedious and petty. I have 3 treasures. I keep and treasure them. The first, mercy. The second, moderation. The third, Modesty. If you're merciful, you can be brave. If you're moderate, you can be generous. If you don't presume to lead, you can lead the high and mighty. But to be brave without compassion or generous without self-restraint or to take the lead is fatal. Compassion wins the battle and holds the fort. It is the bulwark around those heaven helps. Compassion wins the battle and holds the fort. Could that not be more true? Sorry about all the racket with the doors and stuff. My husband is noisy. Just moving through the world. He is a noisy creature. Her notes at the bottom say, the first 2 verses of this chapter are a joy to me. Well, I can. The first 2 verses of this chapter are a joy to me. The 3 final verses are closely connected in thought to the next 2 chapters, which may be read as a single meditation on mercy, moderation, and modesty. And on the use of strength, victory, and defeat. So our next 3 readings from the book have to do with this concept of mercy, mercy, moderation, and modesty. Okay. It's a challenge, Roseanne. If you're a quiet person, it's a challenge to live with a noisy person. With a noisy person who's irritated by noise. Except his own noise. Yeah, me too. It's the movements through the world. You know, I talk a lot, but like he's just loud. When he sets a cup down, it's loud. When he doesn't shut the door behind him, it just flings shut. It's that kind of stuff. Closing cabinets, the fridge. Roseanne, own your quiet. Yeah, except their own voice. Yes. Well, you live in a house with 3 boys. They're probably really noisy. So let's see what, the line that stands out to me the most is that one. Compassion wins the battle and holds the fort. It is the bulwark set around those heaven helps. I love that. I'm loving these books, y'all. I have a book coming. It's something about saying yes. Oh, okay. But you're working on that, right? It's for women, and it's about saying yes because we aren't very good at receiving. Sometimes, all the time, maybe. And then there's Martha Beck has a new book coming out April 25th, which was written as an allegory, but is actually her experiences. You know, things start to get weird when you start to do this work, and they've always been weird. You just weren't aware of them. So it's a book, Diana herself, and it's available for pre-order now on Amazon if you're a Martha Beck fan, which I totally am. Okay, so let's see what Stephen Mitchell has for us about this. Oh, would someone put the Catch channel up there? So anybody who missed the thing yesterday or wants to rewatch it, you can get it on the Catch page. Yeah, I can't wait for her book either. So some say that my teaching is nonsense. Others call it lofty but impractical. But to those who have looked inside themselves, this nonsense makes perfect sense. Thank you. And to those who put it into practice, this loftiness has roots that go deep. I have just 3 things to teach: simplicity, patience, compassion. These 3 are your greatest treasures. Simple in actions and in thoughts, you return to the source of being. Patient with both friends and enemies, you accord with the way things are. Compassionate toward yourself, you reconcile all beings in the world. I have to say, I think that I like this version better on this particular verse today, because this whole last section is it. That's it. I mean, this is how you get in alignment with just the real world, the natural laws of the world. by practicing simplicity, patience, and compassion, starting with yourself and extending out to others. So I read that again. I have just 3 things to teach: simplicity, patience, compassion. These 3 are your greatest treasures. Simple in actions and in thoughts, you return to the source of being. Patient with both friends and enemies, you accord with the way things are. Compassionate toward yourself, you reconcile all beings in the world. And if you wanted to boil it all down to one, it would be that last line. Compassionate toward yourself, you reconcile all beings in the world. Because we have to start with ourselves. We've talked a lot about that. The war in your own head, the violence you do to yourself in your own head and in your own heart toward yourself adds to the violence outside of you. So the starting place is to stop the violence inside of you first. You won't stop being violent with yourself unless you start practicing compassion. And simple in actions and thoughts, you return to the source, the source of all that is. The more we complicate things, the further our awareness gets from the source. You can't be separate from it. But your awareness can be separate. You can separate your awareness of it. Oh gosh, I just realized that diffuser's like spraying water all over this truth bomb card. Compassionate toward yourself, you reconcile all beings in the world. I wish we did more of that. I really do. I wish it for myself. I wish it for all of you too. I'm not nearly as self-punishing as I used to be. God, I'm probably down from 150% to maybe 20. I beat myself up if mistakes happen for 1/10 of the time that I used to. It's still there, but it's so much less, and that has come from mindfulness practice and meta practice. Yes, it was freedom worships inquiry. Is freedom worships inquiry. When you start looking in yourself and asking those questions we talked about yesterday, a direct result of that is freedom. And it's freedom from that voice in your head that's keeping you tangled up and trapped. And when you achieve freedom from that, compassion is a natural... compassion just rises by itself when you stop that violence. And you stop that violence through inquiry, asking questions, opening your mind. And then that freedom... Where is she? You could play it in the car and pretend you're listening to it. Okay, so let's see what Byron Katie says. Yes, Bernice, exactly. Okay, so not surprising. That's the line that she put at the opening of the chapter. Compassionate toward yourself, you reconcile all beings. Yeah. My daughter doesn't watch my scopes. I actually sent her and Sarah the one on negative self-talk, and they didn't watch it. So, that, you have to say that you hate this person on scope, and would they listen to it to see if it's you, like, hating them unnecessarily, or, like you just want to do a self-check, and could they check it out? Paradoxical intent. That's not the word for it. What's it called? Paradoxical instruction or something. Okay, so I noticed that I fed myself this morning in the kindest way. The food was wholesome and simple. I'm not above it, Tanya. Trickery and deceit. The food was wholesome and simple, and if I hadn't had china and elegant flatware and chairs, I would have found a place in the sun and sat and eaten breakfast with my hands. I wouldn't give myself less than the best of what is available at any moment. Okay, this is a key sentence because I'm going to come back to it. I wouldn't give myself less than the best of what is available at any moment. I love that I am my keeper, and I love what keeps the keeper, everything. So she had china and flatware, a table and a candle. She had that available, so she gave herself that. If that wasn't available, she would eat with whatever she had. But if the best is available, she gives herself that. Now here's, I'm going to take it off on a tangent for just first maybe 5 minutes. Louise Hay, when she wrote her book, if you don't know who Louise Hay is, please Google her. She's I got her first book when I was 20 years old. The Love Your Body book. It came in a little blue pamphlet. It wasn't even published by a publishing house. It was just a little blue pamphlet with staples. The Love My Body book. Then, as it took off and got more successful, it became larger. And her story was that, or part of her story is she had cancer. She was abused. She started the affirmation trend. I wish I still had it. I know I don't still have it, but I wish I did. Yeah, it was 1983, 1984. No, that doesn't sound right. 1986 or 87. It doesn't matter. It's a detail. But I was thinking about her because she wrote that she was always on the hunt for cheap. So she would buy the cheapest food she could find. She was always living in the cheapest housing, the cheapest clothes. She was constantly thinking cheap. And she switched that as an expression of abundance. So even if she had to eat less, she bought better quality. She bought the best quality that her tiny little income could afford. And she did whatever she could to go to flip-flop the cheap mindset to best within her available budget. So when we talk about abundance and stuff like that, but we're still looking for cheap, we're always trying to save a penny. This is terrible. The woman who, I won't even say who. I know somebody that says that woman could pinch the copper off a penny. That's cheap. Could you pinch the copper off a penny? Good morning. And the reason I bring this up is because for about a year, I've really been hardcore looking at my stories about money, looking at my outcomes and trying to figure out, where are these outcomes coming from? Just like we talked about yesterday, what decisions did I make? What stories am I telling that keep producing this freaking outcome? Well, one piece of it is always looking for free, always looking for cheap, not being willing to spend the extra $5 to get the nicer one because, hey, it's $5. Not being willing to, give $5 or $10. You know what I'm talking about, right? Always looking for that extra frickin' penny savings. I'm so guilty of that. And I've really been uncovering it a lot over the last 6 months and making that switch and getting more comfortable with asking for money for my services and, holding my prices at a fair market value. Oh, God, Michelle, it's very hard to change. And I see it a lot in a couple of groups I'm in. Again, nothing about us, I would tell you. And I see it in when I'm talking to people about oils. The value that you get in this tiny bottle is nothing compared to what you pay for it. But people not everybody, they come to this screeching halt about the price. And I'm like, how can I keep encountering people who freak out about the cost of a bottle of oil? No, you'd still be looking for value, but your focus would be value, not cheap. Right now, I can fall into looking for cheap instead of looking for value and then deciding what I can afford. or how I can save money to get there. So you're not just paying whatever random damn price. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so you're focusing on quality and value, and then you go to your budget and go, okay, well, how can I make this happen? But I knew that since I kept encountering people who were freaking out about the cost of a bottle of oil, which can save your freaking life, and can save you doctor's fees and whatever. I'm not a medical practitioner. Just quick disclaimer. I'm not saying don't go to the doctor. Anyway, that's how you use your environment to reflect back to you what you're doing. So if I'm running across a whole string of people who are like scandalized by the price of a bottle of oil, then I'm like, they're showing cheap behavior. They're showing sacrifice quality for a penny. Obviously, it's more than pennies. Yeah, they are super valuable. But see, what happens is if we're in cheap mindset, we stop at the number and we don't consider what it's going to save us long term. And you buy a lot less. Yeah, so anyway, my point is not to make you all go buy oils. Not anymore, but they did. So they're still showing up, and I was like, okay, I'm still encountering cheap people. So where am I still thinking in terms of cheap? All right? So if you're selling a product and you keep encountering people who are scandalized by your price, and you know that you're offering a quality, I wouldn't see them anymore if I had shifted it in myself. That's how I knew that I hadn't shifted it in myself. So this is an example from yesterday when I said, if you want to know what's going on, start looking at what you hear other people saying and what you're saying in your head. You find your story that way. So my story is, this isn't the whole picture. I'm just trying to show you a real life example. The story is, I gotta go cheap. I don't have enough money, so I gotta go cheap. Instead of saying, where is the quality and how can I make it happen? Which is the best quality product that feels the best when I think about it in my body or when I hold it in my hands and feel the energy of it? Yes, it's Course in Miracles and even the Bible. It's old. I'm pretty sure we've run across it in the Tao. I feel like we talked about cheap, but earlier, and it wasn't cheap, of course. It was something about flimsy, or I can't remember. I don't know that book well enough. Tanya might know. Choosing less to go for quality. Anyway, my point is, I heard it, that people were coming to a halt about my portrait prices, which are middle of the road for portrait artists. I don't encounter that with my workshop prices, but because those people just don't even talk to me. They're like, $345, whatever, and I don't hear from them again, which is fine. It's totally fine. I get it. It's pricey. And then the thief. So what I'm saying is, if you're struggling with money, you can hear your story in what other people are saying to you about your products, about your services. And if you are still looking for cheap, you're going to continue to create the situation that makes you think you need to look for cheap. So then you can start backtracking and go, I have this outcome. Where's the story that's producing this outcome? Back it up, find the story, change that story, and watch how your outcome changes. Anyway, totally sidetracked. But I thought about that a lot lately, that Louise Hay talked a lot about how she shifted her just listen for what you're saying in your own head. Like when you're going shopping when you're shopping for a product, yeah, if you're abundant, you don't think twice you're going to buy the quality. If you know you have enough money and you know that you can make more money, you can bring more money in, then, and you respect yourself and love yourself enough, then you go for quality, even if that means you have to save up for it, even if it means you have to tweak your budget a little. You care enough about yourself to go for quality, which isn't always a dollar amount. My dad used to get really confused about that. He assumed if it was expensive, it was quality, and that's not true at all. There's a lot of expensive stuff that's total garbage. Yeah, so you make a shift and you find the story running the show. When you're out shopping, you go to your cortisol feeling of freaking awesome, is one Michelle's, I think. Is the product you're about to buy resonant with freaking awesome? Or is it, I feel like I have to buy this day-old bread because I don't have enough money? And is that really true? Okay, tangent. If you think of any further questions while we're talking, toss them up there. And if I don't see them, put them up there again, because sometimes I miss it. Does that make sense to you? Like, that's an example. If you're not selling a product and don't have customers to bounce it back to you, listen to what you're saying when you're shopping. Yes. That's how you make decisions. You figure out your cortisol feeling, and then all decisions, even on the smallest scale, are measured against that cortisol feeling. And you try not to do anything that's not resonant. Get as close as you can. Sometimes it takes time to get resonant with your feeling of freaking awesome. But as you're trying to hit that perfect point, the stories that keep you from hitting that perfect point start to come to your consciousness. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay. So her line about... So with relationships, are you approaching relationships from an attitude of get or give? Are you in service to God or all that is through your relationships, or are you looking for what they can give to you? What you can get from them? If you have low quality relationships, it may be an issue of, I don't feel like I deserve to be treated well in relationships. Don Miguel Ruiz says we'll accept the amount of abuse in relationships that we feel like we deserve. Once it goes past what we think we deserve, then we get rid of those people. But we have a tolerance level for abusive behavior or disrespectful, let's say disrespectful behavior. And as long as it's there or under that, we'll stay with those people. You look at the themes in the relationships you're attracting. Yeah. So in relationships, there'll be a certain theme. People always ignore me. Friendships, spouse, coworkers. I don't feel like anyone ever hears me. Yeah. I don't deserve, or I'm not worthy of, or I'm not allowed to have respectful relationships. It's generally around in that area somewhere. It really is looking for motivation. Yeah, it sounds like it. So then somewhere in there, you have a story running that you're supposed to be controlled, or that you don't deserve to have control over your own life, or that you're not competent enough to be in control of your own life. Or if people are, trying to control you, you are going to drown in their needs versus your needs. So looking for the patterns, and then when you start asking them, promise you this 100%. When you start asking these questions, the information will come to you. You'll find it in a book. Someone will say it. You'll click on a scope and you'll hear just what you needed. You'll flip open one of your books, or a book will fall off your shelf right in front of you. That's happened. If you're into oracle cards or tarot cards, you can pull a card. You'll hear a song. It will come to you. You'll dream about it. I promise you it will happen. The key to starting all of this life-changing stuff is to ask the questions. Thank you. Thank you. Ask the questions. The information will come. So she says, I wouldn't give myself less than the best of what is available at any moment. I love that I am my keeper, and I love what keeps the keeper. Yes, freedom worships inquiry. Freedom comes from, is in inquiry, asking questions. I would rather have one sheet that I take off the bed and wash every week in the same damn sheet, which is what I do, because I'm such a shit about sheets. I'm a shit about sheets. That I want a damn good sheet, like a very expensive sheet, bed sheet, because I can feel every little thing under my skin. I'm like the princess and the pea. So I'll spend more to have one sheet and just rewash that same sheet than, because I will not sleep on a cheap bed sheet. Yeah. So see, we do it. We'll give ourselves quality in certain areas, and then we'll go eat cheap food. Or we won't buy quality oils. We'll buy the oils off Amazon that came from God knows where. You know, so it's like, find the areas where you're like, oh yes, I am having quality. Yes, exactly. And stretch that out. Stretch that sense of taking care of yourself and quality into other areas of your life. If you know you deserve a quality bedsheet, you also deserve quality relationships. And if you don't have them, take a look at that. You also deserve high quality food. And if you're eating cheap, yucky food, you're going to pay the price in the long run. So find the areas where you're already giving yourself quality and spread it out. Quality oil, quality car. Don't even ask my husband about Pennzoil, right? Pennzoil.
Shit's crap.
Did you hear him?
That's serious.
Shit's crap. Pennzoil. Don't even get him started. Quality oil, quality vehicles. Okay. Making breakfast for Stephen and myself is about watching kindness in action. I watch it move to the refrigerator, and I call it mine. A hand opens the door, and I call it mine. Yeah. What will the hand reach for? So she's observing herself cooking breakfast and loving the kindness in it. She spends extra money to buy the eggs that are cage-free. And you really have to be careful on cage-free eggs, by the way. Yeah, you need to know who you're buying from. We're fortunate enough to find a local source. But here's the thing, too, that's the same about eggs. I'll pay $5 a dozen for eggs. Because I won't eat the eggs from the sad chickens. I don't want sad chicken eggs. So even at $5 a dozen, that's like not even 50 cents an egg. So it's still like $1 a meal, if you think about it. Yeah. If I wasn't such a squish about animals, I'd have my own chickens, but I can't hardly handle taking care of any more animals either. Okay, so as they are cooking, so she's cooking her free-range eggs, I see mental pictures of chickens in fresh air and sunlight, and also pictures of chickens in cages on top of each other in misery, and I ask myself, where am I in a cage? And I wait in the silence. I see long ago times when I was in a cage, and what an endless dark period that seemed to be, when I believed that the pain was unbearable, and that there was no way out. But then I saw the key and I opened the door. And after that, every time a problem seemed to arise in this new world, it was like child's play. I became a skilled magician, a sorcerer who makes everything disappear with one stroke of mind. All of this as eggs are cooking. To me, they are strength. They die so I can live. I put them on 2 shiny white dishes with toast and moved to the dining room table. What a beautiful word breakfast is. What a beautiful word breakfast is.
Trying to tell me something?
Maybe. Yes. I'm just kidding. Okay. Watch out, your cat's about to dart out. Never miss a chance to get breakfast made for you.
Never. So you can do the honors.
Never skip a chance. Okay. Beyond what the mind can see is kinder than what... I love breakfast for dinner. No bacon. Yuck on the bacon. Okay, I've got totally distracted now. Let me stop here. When you realize where you come from, no imagination can move you to believe that you are separate. Yes. Oh, pancakes. Oh, I have gluten-free pancake mix too. Oh my God, I'm starving now. Okay. When you realize where you came from, where you come from, no imagination can move you to believe that you are separate from all that is. Everything is seen for what it is, and you understand that no one is in danger of losing anything. Oh, yeah, that'd be lovely, except his identification. And in that forever good news, in the face of everything that appears to be real, only kindness remains. When you strip it all away, there's only love, right? There's fear or there's love. And go back to our Course in Miracles studies that we did for 7 months. Choose love, choose kindness, and that includes in how you spend your money. Choose love, choose kindness, choose quality. If you're looking for cheap, you're going to keep a cheap life going. And I say that because I caught myself doing it. Oh, wow. When I give to you without motive, I am delighted. I act with kindness because I like myself when I do that. Kindness can only be to myself. It doesn't include anyone else, not even the apparent receiver, because I am both giver and receiver, and that's all that matters. Did you catch that? When I'm being kind, I'm the only one I'm being kind to. If I send you a surprise because I had a surge of generosity that day, that's a kindness. That's kindness moving through me, and I'm also giving to me. Okay? So, there's only one. I am both giver and receiver. So, being kind to you is being kind to me. Being kind to me is being kind to you. And it activates kindness in the rest of the world. Anyone open that day to feel the vibe of kindness? Maybe I picked up somebody else's generous kindness vibe that day, that I happened to put something in the mail. I love doing that. And then giving without motive. When I give without motive, I am delighted. And I never give if there's a motive. The giver and the receiver are the same. I can't give to myself without also giving to you. If I learn how to give to myself and choose quality in my life, then I'm activating a wave of that can benefit you too. Same thing. If you choose kindness, if you choose kindness for yourself, that's going to benefit me. It's going to change the whole dynamic. I can't give if there's a motive, because you feel that, right? When you feel that, when somebody gives you a gift or a sample and there's a motive behind it, you know. And if you're feeling scared about offering your product, good morning, Heidi. It's because you've got a motive going. It's manipulation to some degree. Now, we all manipulate. That's how we survive as a species. But you can see where it's coming from, and you can check that impulse. If you feel anxiety about giving something to someone, there's a hidden agenda somewhere. That's a clue for you. If you feel anxiety or fear about offering a product to somebody, or a sample, or even just a gift to a family member, and you're nervous about it, that you have a motive going on. You've got an agenda going on. You want something from them, or you're hoping for a specific response. If it's a pure giving without motive, you generally just feel super all lovey and fun and excited inside to give somebody something with zero motive. Those are the days it's fun to go to the post office. Yeah, when you're giving without motive. Okay, I'm going to stop there. He said he was waiting to start the generator for me to start it, but I just heard it start. What a liar. All right, I love you guys. Hopefully that tangent was helpful. I totally lost my focus going off on that. But look at what you're saying in your head about relationships, and look at if you're trying to get versus trying to just express who you are and what you are and the energy. Oh, good. Yeah. Yay! Freaking awesome! All right. We matched Michelle's cortisol feeling. Quality is ours. Treat yourself with quality. You will find that being reflected back to you in your customers and your lovers and your friends. You're welcome. Much love to you too. All right, I'm going to go play with the generator and see if I can get breakfast cooked for me because that's quality. Okay, great. Yeah, Heidi, you'll like it. You'll like it. Okay, love you guys. Bye.